What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, making another episode of Underdeveloped and Unsupported Archetypes. And today I am talking about Watts. Now, I think that most of us can agree on the fact that Watts are underpowered, underdeveloped, and flat out underwhelming. But I think a lot of people have forgotten the fact that this was Konami's second attempt at making an archetype that reaches a majority of its win condition via direct attacks. Remember a very, very long time ago, these things called tunes? Yet nobody else does either. That's because the deck fell off the fucking end of the earth like a month after Magic Ruler was released. And it wasn't that tunes were a bad archetype. It was that Konami put all these stupid ass stipulations on all the monsters. You couldn't attack during the turn that they were summoned. If Toon World was destroyed, all the monsters were destroyed. You couldn't special summon them except by special summoning from the hand, which was actually done by tribute summoning, but it really wasn't considered tribute summoning, considered it was still a special summon. What? This shit's so confusing. But let's go back to Watts. I do understand that Watt monsters have to have a relatively low attack because of the fact that a lot of these monsters can attack directly. I mean, who the hell would want to play against Watts if they had like a 2000 attack monster that could attack directly every turn? I mean, people could potentially end games in like 2 or 3 turns. However, what I don't understand is why Watt Cobra is like the only monster in the deck that can make advantage the second you put them on the field. I mean, yeah, the 2 goldfish monsters can pick cards out of your opponent's hand, but neither one of them can attack directly. So what's the odds of you actually running a monster over and you inflicting battle damage? Practically none, which means you're going to need a direct attack with these guys. That's not going to happen that often. Now, I do actually like some of their support cards. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like a support card in Watt Cancel. Watt Cancel's pretty good. Unfortunately, we go back to the whole advantage thing. How are you going to pay for Watt Cancel? The only way to actually support the card is with Cobra, and Cobra can't be searched unless you're searching it from a freaking Cobra. So they don't really give you any access to be able to use the best card in the deck, without going neg. You'd essentially want to max out on Watt Cancels so that you could basically have like a pseudo Solemn Warning every single turn. But, if you can't keep your hand at a respectable size, Watt Cancel's not really going to do much. I also look at the fact that all the spells are just absolute garbage. Your monsters are all ridiculously underpowered. These guys have no higher than like 1200 attack. I don't understand the point of releasing all these cards that make their attacks go up. Let's just give them some actual fucking defense. Give me like a fucking Watt Mirror Force or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't need my monsters to get bigger. What I need to do is get your monsters out of the way. And another problem I have with Watts, and this might be my biggest problem, are the boss monsters. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually like Watt Chimera, and I like Watt Hydra a lot. I think the cards are very productive, and if you can combine these with Forbidden Dress and Forbidden Lance, I think that these cards can be downright nasty as long as you can get them on the field and that they can survive. We're not even going to talk about the fact that all the tuners in this deck are absolutely atrocious, so I have no idea how the hell you're going to summon these things. But the problem is, even their attack values are ridiculously underpowered. What are the odds of these things actually surviving your opponent's next battle phase? So, they don't offer any protection, so they have to hit the field. They have to get through the torrentials and the solemn warnings of the world. Then they have to successfully attack. That means no mirror force, no dimensional prison. And then, in addition to that, it's like, even if I do get all of those things going in my favor, how the hell am I supposed to keep this thing on the board when it has 1400 attack? And this is my fucking boss monster. So when I look at Watts as a whole, I actually like a lot of the monsters in here. I like the giraffe. I like the dragonfly. I love the freaking cobra. I just wish that there were more monsters like the cobra. I like the fact that they gave it a really good solid counter trap. Unfortunately, the cobra is pretty much the only card in the deck that helps you facilitate it. I like the boss monsters a lot. I just don't know how the hell we're going to make them because all the tuners are abysmal. I think it would have been a much better idea to make the synchros be able to be synchro summoned with a generic tuner. Could you imagine how awesome it would be if you could special summon TG Striker, summon Cobra, attack, search a card, and then synchro into, one of these synchro cards? And the biggest problem the deck has, and I don't even think Konami is going to attempt to answer it, is they just need better defensive cards. Outside of Watt Cancel, every other support card they have is garbage. I also think that it would be very helpful if the deck had some type of generic searcher. Cobra's pretty much the most important card, but you don't have any way to get to it. You know, there is no generic light searching monster. I mean, unless you're just going to run Sangan and hope you draw it, I don't really see how you're supposed to be able to tutor anything in this freaking deck. So let me know what you guys think. I think some of the fixes could be just either some much better tuners or some like Xyz or better synchro monsters. B, the deck needs some better defense. And C, the deck needs a couple more monsters like Watt Cobra. Monsters where you can just summon them guys and they can just put in work and you don't have to worry about everything being perfect to actually net some advantage. I mean, Watt Cobra, you summon, attack, search. I mean, that's how a card should be. I mean, if you can just summon a gadget and search, you can summon Stratos or Gearframe and search, then I don't understand how difficult it is for an obscure archetype like Watt to have a couple of monsters like that. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll talk to you later.